Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet, and indeed it is my pleasure this morning to warmly welcome each and every one of you connecting with us here today. Those of you joining us right here in Tobago, those of you across in Trinidad, the region, the entire Caribbean region, up the islands. I know we got some viewers between Grenada, St. Vincent, those of you up the islands, and most certainly those of you out there in the world at large, continuing to tune in far and wide to ensure that you keep connected with the happenings right here in Trinidad and Tobago. We want to say thank you so much for continuing to choose the Tobago Updates morning show. Yes, folks, it's Friday the 12th of April 2024. The days continue to flow so quickly indeed, but it's that kind of thank God it's Friday. Most definitely it has been an eventful week, and for some you're just happy that it's Friday because you're looking forward to the weekend that is to come, most certainly. But before we head on into any further discussions this morning, we head over to News in 90 Seconds.
News in 90 Seconds is brought to you by Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Thank you, Julian. And here's your news in 90 seconds for Friday, 12th April 2024. The MV Emprendedora has begun operating as the cargo vessel between Trinidad and Tobago, while the MV Cabo Star undergoes dry docking from April 6th to 25th. It will handle various cargoes, including construction materials and containers, departing from Port of Spain at 2 p.m. and from Tobago at around 4 a.m. All transactions for truckers and shippers must be done through the FRX system, similar to the processes used for the MV Cabo Star. Meanwhile, the galleon's passage will also transport vans and trucks starting April 15th. Passenger ferries will continue their regular services, prioritizing food and pharmaceutical transportation. Tobago police are facing challenges from motorists who use technology to warn others about police roadblocks, undermining efforts to combat serious crime. At a town hall meeting, Senior Superintendent Rodil Kirk expressed frustration over this practice, showcasing voice notes that circulated on social media that alert drivers to police activities. He urged the public to redirect their use of technology to assist law enforcement by reporting criminal activities instead, and proposing the creation of a group named Spotlight on Criminals to facilitate this cooperative effort. Former Chief Justice and President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Michael de la Bastide, was commemorated as a larger-than-life figure during his funeral by the current Chief Justice Ivor Archie. Described as a visionary leader and a brilliant jurist who was also fun-loving and humane, de la Bastide passed away on March 30th at the age of 86. Archie highlighted de la Bastide's disdain for laziness and deception, his relentless pursuit of excellence, and his deep commitment to his family and the Caribbean region. The ceremony was attended by notable figures including Acting Prime Minister Colm Imbert and Chief Secretary Farley Augustine. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Life is good with zero interest for 6 months, zero down payments, zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards My Terms, we are putting the power of zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for zero down. Pay zero interest later and enjoy a zero stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. And this morning we're diving straight on into our birthday shout-outs here on Tobago Updates.
And celebrating a birthday is Andre Baker. Yes, if you know Andre Baker, he's the life of the party. Well, in the background, you know, he's a guy, he's a mover and a shaker, and we want to say happy birthday to you, Andre Baker. It's your birthday and we want to celebrate you. We want to give God thanks for your life, and we wish you all the very best even as you head on into the weekend. We do hope that you have a wonderful celebration.
Shout outs going out to my brother out there, man, Andre Baker, indeed. You couldn't describe him any other way. Life of the party, but you know he's that background, make sure everything is organized and ready in place. All right, and we have on screen one of my good friends out there, Cameron Bruno, sending a birthday shout out to Cameron Bruno, indeed, wishing you continued blessings coming from the entire Tobago Updates family. Happy birthday, Cameron.
And the next time on screen celebrating a birthday is John Harper. John Harper is celebrating a birthday today, and we want to wish you a happy birthday. If you know John Harper, he has a long history with the cadets. Yes, this is the man who is there up and about with the cadets in Tobago there in the Scarborough district. And we want to wish you a happy birthday today. We pray that God continues to bless you and guide you and keep you as you enjoy your birthday celebrations.
And certainly adding birthday greetings there to John Harper, my very own neighbor, man, same village. Certainly want to wish you a very happy birthday. And on screen, no stranger at all, a presiding officer, Abby Taylor, my very good friend on the outside. They're celebrating a birthday today, and I trust that she may take a few moments from duty and work and you know all the official duties to ensure that she just takes some time out for herself, most certainly to enjoy the birthday celebrations. Wishing you a happy birthday coming from my family, and in fact coming from the entire Tobago Updates family. Happy birthday to you, Abby Taylor.
Happy birthday, dear presiding officer.
And I see that we got some anniversary celebrations in the mix this morning. And we're sending out a happy anniversary to Preston and Abian Davidson Henry. Wishing you a happy anniversary greeting. And this greeting is also coming out from Rhea Richardson George. Wishing you a happy anniversary and God's continued blessings going out to you, Preston and Abian. All the best. Thank you so much indeed. It's that kind of feel-good Friday. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good because it's Friday, yes.
I almost said, how you feeling? And then I paused because I didn't want to go any further with that song.
That's right.
So how is it today, Adana? What are you looking forward to on this weekend?
Well, as you said, it's Friday, and you know, usually on Fridays I meet with my young people. They're at the church, the youths at the church this evening, so I'm looking forward to meeting with them. We have a lot of fun activities to engage in over the weekend, so I'm excited to see what they came up with and how we're going to roll out those plans. You know, I'm always happy to engage with the young people, especially when I see progress, and not only progress, but when I see that they're making an effort. You know, it gives me more motivation to drive behind them. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing my youths this evening. For those of you who are looking at me, Celine, yes, I'm talking about you and all the others there at Victorious Generation. I'm looking forward to seeing them on this weekend. And you know, I have a few other activities going on as well for the weekend.
Certainly indeed. I'm hoping to get in a bit of rest, but I usually hope for that every weekend. But it tends not to work out. It tends not to always work out like that. I'm also looking forward. There's going to be the spelling bee competition happening. We're going to be chatting about that a little later on and so on. Certainly happening tomorrow. And last night I would have also had the opportunity to be involved in the Tobago East constitutional reform session that took place there. The committee recently established by the Prime Minister and the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Very interesting in terms of the feedback and perspectives from those of us here on the island. And then it continues on the 22nd, Monday the 22nd. That's going to be the Tobago West legs of things happening right here in Tobago. So very interesting things happening in the mix. Adana, who can we look forward to on the rundown for this morning?
All right, this morning we're having interesting conversations, as we always do on Tobago Updates. And so we're going to start our conversation this morning. As you mentioned, the spelling bee, we're having that conversation this morning. We're speaking to none other than Esther Ali. That's right, Esther Ali, CEO of Pamstar Promotions, and we're having that conversation talking about the 3rd annual spelling bee and vocabulary competition. We're also speaking with Pastor Daniel Reed of the North District of the SDA. Near North District presents a call of redemption. And of course, we head on into our sports segment with Marcus Daniel, and we're speaking about a sports we're speaking about sporting events. Marcus will be the one to have those conversations as well. He's a sportsman, and so he will represent us there. So those are the conversations we're having this morning, this Friday. Yes, it is Friday. This Friday morning on Tobago Updates Morning Show, and we do hope, of course, that you stay with us while we have these conversations. It's always a pleasure having you online with us, and we want to take this time to say good morning to those of you who are joining us this morning, our usual viewers. Pearl Murray Beard, always online, sending out greetings to us every morning. We want to say good morning to Terry Trinidad, who is also there. Muna Roberts Quashi, good morning to you guys. Charlotte Ramsey Roberts, Lavian Ashby, Demi John Cruikshank, all of you who are online this morning viewing us here on our Facebook stream, on our YouTube channel, and on Amplia 102. We want to say good morning to you. Thank you so much for choosing us. And even as we head on into the weekend, we are happy to have you. And we ask that you stay with us even to the very end of this morning's program. But we do have to go for a short break before we start these interesting conversations. And before we go to a break, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Tobagonians, you may know me as Blaze. Through my TV and radio shows, you've invited me into your lives. Now, the media's freedom to speak out on behalf of citizens, to reveal the facts fearlessly, is enshrined in our Constitution. It means we can openly demand accountability for the performance of public officers and authorities. Should your Constitution demand more too? Submit your views to Constitutional Reform 2024.gov.tt by the 15th of April. It's your future, it's your Constitution, and it's your voice.
You're the prize, you're the queen.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers. We just at about 7:12 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Julian Skeet, and most certainly just before we dive on into this interview, happening today, Dr. Marshall Montano. This event is the Division of Education, Research and Technology putting on this initiative, courtesy their social media page, certainly expressing and highlighting and celebrating the achievements of the 2023 CSEC and CAPE merit list students and their teachers at the awards ceremony, and that takes place today. Let your dreams be your wings, featuring Dr. Marshall Montano as motivational speaker, and it is a celebration taking place today, Friday the 12th of April 2024. So certainly as we celebrate our students and teachers, kudos going out to the Division of Education, Research and Technology. And at this point, viewers, we're diving straight on in as we're talking education. We're diving straight on into the third annual spelling and vocabulary competition. And this morning, we're chatting with none other than Esther Ali, CEO of Palm Star Promotions. No stranger to us here at all. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, and good morning to my Tobago family.
Yes.
It is really good to be here, especially the day before our National Spelling and Vocabulary Challenge at Lowlands Mall, which starts promptly at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. So we're diving straight on in. It's happening tomorrow. It gets going from 8 a.m. I want you to tell us a little bit for those who may not have, may not fully understand and might just be glimpsing and now getting an idea. Wait, this is happening in Tobago as well, because we know it's not the first year.
No.
Tell us a little bit about the competition in itself and this aspect taking place in Tobago.
Sure. Happy to be here again, Julian. The competition is tomorrow, but it's not the first time in Tobago. This is our second annual National Spelling and Vocabulary Challenge in Tobago. Last year, our winner came from Tobago, Signal Hill Government Primary, and I know Tobagonians are very proud, and so am I, that a Tobagonian came to Trinidad and passed out the Trinidad League and won it and ended up at the top of the league. So this year we brought it back, and we're looking for Tobago to vie for the title to retain it. All right, National Spelling and Vocabulary Challenge is really to assess children's ability in spelling and vocabulary. It is targeted to students between the ages of 9 to 12 plus, but we've been cheating a little bit. Instead of just standard 3, 4, and 5, we've been adding standard 2 students into it. So we have a special prize for the top standard 2 student in Tobago tomorrow. Folks, it is 3 words in the preliminary: a word to spell, a word to give the meaning of, and a word to put in the proper context of a sentence. We have a 4th word which we will add into the semis if need be. Otherwise, it goes into the grand final, which is a local word. And in Tobago, please do not be alarmed when we say local word. The first thing people say, oh, you bring words from Trinidad and it's not Tobago dialect and la la la. But we choose Tobago words very carefully, and our judges are aware of it, and Mr. Skeet is involved in it, and we thank him and Miss Alison Potts and Annette Henry. We do not bring judges from Trinidad per se, but we brought in an adjudicator to assist from Trinidad, and she's a very prominent teacher from St. Gabriel, in San Fernando. These competitions is really not to drive a fear into a child, but to build a confidence in a child that they can go through a series of competitions with us all the way up to standard 5, and after standard 5 is SEA students that take part in our competition.
And I want you to share as well, because one of the things I noticed from last year, the event appears to be a family event.
Yes.
So I might have my child that is of age that's participating, but I'm bringing the younger ones also to see and to be exposed. Tell us a little bit about how that has encouraged even further involvement of families remain in the competition.
More of a union and more of a fellowship as a family, because as you have observed, so have I, even in Trinidad and in Tobago, seeing parents bring the younger ones, 5 and 6 years old, and get all excited. Mommy, I want to be there. Mommy, I want to be a part of this. And it's all right, when you reach the age, no, I want to go now. And the excitement builds within a family, and the support, it builds such a support that I'm admiring it every time these competitions come around. Instead of just mommy, daddy, child, it's going mommy, daddy, granny, grandpa, auntie, uncle, everybody comes together. Support. The extended family supports this child, and it is wonderful to see. And in our competitions, it's not just competition. We also bring our sponsors to give giveaways to our children. We have Creamy Ice Cream that comes on board and gives ice cream. We have Dairy giving milk products and being there with their mascots. We have Charon's Bookstores, which is our lead sponsor and has been supporting us tremendously, and with their support we are able to come to Tobago to extend our services and our dream, and we are happy to say we have a Tobago sponsor. We have Magdalena on board with us this year, and they have given us one of the main prizes. And in the aspect of prizes, we are having a challenge trophy that is given to the top standard 4 student and standard 5. And the top standard 2 and 3 student, they will receive a tablet, and all our students in our grand final receive certificates and medals, plus hampers and vouchers and so. But people, it's not just about winning prizes, it's motivating your children. And even though if you don't have a child in the competition, please show up tomorrow and extend your support to these children. Your love is what keeps these children going. They have dreams. Some of these children, I'm not going to lie to you, they are nervous, they're scared. Our judges within the Twin Islands are so supportive and understanding, and hats off and kudos to all these folks. They make these children very comfortable. And if you are a child that is scared, please understand, we do not eliminate your child because the child is scared into the competition.
Certainly. And I want to touch on the fact, I know that April 6th would have been the auditions and prelims that took place in Trinidad.
Sure.
Tomorrow, April 13th, at the Lowlands Mall, you have the auditions and prelims taking place in Tobago.
Yes.
And just tell us about when we anticipate the finals will take place.
The finals will be on the 20th of April in Trinidad at the Five Rivers Secondary School. We chose the secondary school because we're still following COVID protocols on the space. That's one. Two is that they're not going to be interrupted by passers-by. And in Lowlands, we realize people in Tobago understand and they support children, that they're not going to disturb or intervene. In Trinidad, we have, hey, Tanti, what's going on? Or, that's my niece, that's my niece. And you look at it. Yes, we understand your love and your extending of happiness. But please, when a competition is going on, we want peace and quiet.
Tell us as well about some of the participating schools between
Sure.
last year and this year.
Okay.
I know Signal Hill is at the top.
Oh.
Tell us about.
We have Delaford with
Yes.
us. We have Wim with us. We have Speyside with us. And we have quite a few Anglican schools. This year, I didn't see anybody from the Methodist school. I was a little bit disappointed, but I know I have mathematics coming up after this. So I look forward to their participation. The registration has grown, and we look forward to every child participating in this competition. And next year, please, folks, it is going to be looking for 1,000 students from Tobago. And we are extending it. It is going to be for 1 week of competition. In the first week after school closes, we're going to have 1 week of competition in Tobago. So it's Adventist, Methodist, everybody, please start preparing your children for July next year. And the prizes we are looking for is wonderful prizes, and we are merging with American companies and Canadian companies to give us special prizes to these students, besides trophies and hampers. And all my children, again, are going to receive certificates and medals.
All right. And is it safe to say that the defending, which would have been the national champion, will Signal Hill Government Primary, Principal Tricia Devines on the outside here, will she be sending students to defend this year?
Of course, she's sending her students, and she will be present, God willing. And all the other schools and their principals said they're going to do their best to be there. Folks, if last minute you have a child that is getting anxious and saying, Mommy, can I bring your child to Lowlands Mall, and we will register them and send them through. So the categories tomorrow is standard 2, 3, 4, and 5. The questions are based on a word to spell, a word to meaning, and a word in the correct context of a sentence. And when we go into the afternoon session, which is the semi we're putting together, we are extending a local word where need be on commonly misspelled words. But folks, please be happy for this. I am taking the top 3 students again from Tobago and bringing them to Trinidad. We are paying their airfare for them to come.
Excellent indeed. I want to say congratulations,
Thank
certainly,
you.
and I want to encourage persons, even if your school name has not been called understand the nature of this competition head down. It will be worthwhile to even just go and spectate, bring your children out to see how it takes place, because I want to assure you the encouragement and motivation is definitely 100. And I'm speaking from my very own experience.
Yes,
seeing students in the competition last year, as well as students who were not in the competition but just happy to be there and to celebrate and to recognize, hey, I have an opportunity to be back there next year. So certainly we want to encourage you. Thank you so much, Esther Ali, for joining us here on set this morning. Quick contact information for anyone wanting to reach out to you.
471-2604. I'm in Tobago already, as you see.
Yes.
And I'm here until Sunday. But please contact us last minute if you need to.
All right. Gentle reminder, registration starts as early as 7 a.m. Tomorrow at the mall, and then the competition kicks off from 8 a.m. So we're looking forward to those the competition this year. And certainly we are hoping that Tobago student would once again reign victorious in Tobago, and then at the national level we are speaking it into being. So thank you so much for joining us here on set this morning. And viewers, we want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Storby Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Scrub Ties brings to you our organic fat dissolving shots. Yes, guys, our lemon butter shot breaks down stubborn fat, tightens any loose skin while increasing your metabolism. No side effects, no downtime. We also offer cavitation, cellulite treatment, butt, breast, hip dip fillers, weight loss, fertility IVs, and much more. Contact us on 495-6624 or follow us on Instagram at Scrub Ties Body Contouring.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi, and it's 7:26 a.m. And of course, if you're getting to school and work, you still have about 34 minutes to drop the kids off and to get there as well in time for 8 o'clock. Remember to drive safely on the nation's roads and to be cautious. Look out for pedestrians and other motorists as well. All right, we continue conversations this morning in studio with our guest, and we're speaking with Pastor Daniel Reed of the North District of SDA, and we're talking about a call of redemption. Good morning, Pastor, and welcome.
Good morning, good morning.
It's so nice having you in studio this morning, and you know we were having that little banter before the interview started. So we want to get straight into it, and we want to know a little bit about this young, vibrant pastor. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey to becoming a pastor at this very young age, because you look like your mommy's milk still on your face. So tell us.
Yeah, sure, thanks. Well, I'm actually 36 years of age now. You know, I look a little bit younger. Some people say they're my age, right? And often as I tell my supervisor, you know, I'm not so young because the young people not call me young, right?
Right, that's
but
right.
Indeed, I know it's a place where you wouldn't really see much young persons thriving in, right? So for me, I think that initiative to become a pastor started when I was about 19 years old. You know, actually 2 persons came to me on 2 different occasions. You know, I started going to church at the age of 17. I was baptized as a Seventh-day Adventist. And, you know, speaking with some of the elders there, they advised me to go in that direction. And when I went and prayed about it, you know, the answer I got back is, you know, there are lawyers, there are doctors, there are masons, carpenters, and the world needs pastors as well. And from there, it became my dream. And so, you know, was a long journey, yeah? But here I am today.
And you know, when the elders, they give you advice, sometimes it's sound advice, because even the Bible says when you have issues, go to the elders of the church. And so the elders have given you this advice, and you took it upon yourself also to pray about it. So, you know, a very proud moment indeed, and congratulations, of course, on your journey. How has it been, though, being a pastor, a young pastor? I mean, you said the young people wouldn't call you young, but you're still a young pastor. How has it been for you? What is your experience like as a pastor?
Well, I think I have been getting the support, you know, from my supervisors, those above me, you know, my peers, you know, so I've been really getting a lot of support. And I think it's something that they pride themselves in, you know, having someone young, you know, actually interested in this, that, and it's just the nurturing part of it. You know, and I'm a real Tobago person, so my development comes from so far and wide.
Right. Community,
you know,
community
based, you can say. You know, and I always try to keep my ears open. Some people say I'm stubborn a little bit, right? But I really try to keep my ears open to advice, to strength, you know, to development. And I'm always learning along the way. Learning is not just in the classroom.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So it has been a real learning, growing experience.
Awesome, awesome. So we're talking now about the Near North District presenting the Call of Redemption.
Yes.
And this started already from April 7th. So we want to get a little bit of insight as to what this Call of Redemption is about. What can we expect to experience there? What are some of the topics that will be discussed? What are some of the issues and the challenges that you want to address and stuff like that?
Right, so this topic came about in terms of my sermon preparation, you know, looking at it. I saw even from beginning in Genesis, you know, as we believe, you know, with Adam and Eve, where they would have sinned, you know, and as a result of sin, actually, you know, some of the chaos and these things that we are facing in the world today is as a result of that sin. And in those preparations, I realized that, you know, yes, we have sinned, yes, we have fallen, but God created an avenue of hope whereby we can be redeemed. So that hence the call of redemption. And it's also to that mother, that father who is in despair, who is feeling hopeless, you know, to the young man, looking into the world and they are not really seeing any hope. You know, there's so much the government can do, there's so much politicians can do and so forth. There's so much the different avenues can do. But this call of redemption goes deeper. It goes beyond that to inspire hope in the individual, in their home. And hence, you know, the call of redemption.
And you know, the flyer says, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. And if you know anything about scriptures, you can see the signs.
The signs
are telling.
Yes, yeah, very.
You know, the signs are telling, and we know. Amen. I mean, for some people's argument is that since I was a little child, I've been hearing that Christ is coming. But remember, we have to fulfill the prophecies that are written in the scripture.
Yes.
And for those people who don't believe the scripture, we are seeing the very scripture coming to pass.
Amen. I should have you preach.
I am a believer. I am a believer. You know, I am very, very much a believer. And so we're seeing that the times are drawing. We're seeing the prophecies are being fulfilled. Things are happening. And so no better time than now.
No better time than
because you mentioned the call of redemption.
Yes, and that's right. You know, it inspired by that text that came out from Luke chapter 21, verse 28. You know, where it says, "Look out for thy redemption, draw it nigh." When he talked to his disciples, they came, "What shall be the signs of the coming of the end?" And they talk about wars and, you know, rumors of wars. And so ironically, where the crusade is being held is in Lekito, Iman Legal Lane, you know, named after that veteran of war in Tobago here, and I'm being told he's still alive and such.
Right.
You know, so right there is where the spot, you know, the tent is being pitched. So it's very fitting. And, you know, some of the topics, as you asked earlier, that were discussed there were topics like well, upcoming topics actually, the deceiver versus the redeemer, and we can see that whole cosmic battle between Satan and Jesus and so forth. And there are some other interesting topics, you know, that you can really expect to hear there.
And you know, the funny thing is, I find that now discussing things within the scriptures are so engaging, primarily because things are happening. You can literally see them happening now. So now the interest is peaking and the conversations are becoming more interesting and engaging. And now you want to know more and you want to ask questions and you want to, you know, have the knowledge and the information so that you are aware of what is happening. Are these sessions, are they interactive? Are people allowed to ask questions? How is it set up?
No, well, they are not necessarily interactive, but they're engaging.
Right.
You know, we have a quiz section, you know, where you could get a chance to respond to, you know, what you heard in terms of, you know, what did the preacher, it's set up in such a way to keep you engaged. So you have to listen to the preacher and so forth, and, you know, answer the questions based on the presentations. That's the only type of engagement that is about. In terms of that dialogue, no, unfortunately.
But that is very good, though, the quiz aspect of it, because if I'm sitting, for me personally, if I'm sitting in a setting like that and information is being sent off to me and I know there's a quiz, I'm taking my notes because when I'm quizzed, I want to answer correctly. I want to know that I know. So that is at least, you know, some measure of interaction there. You know, and it's happening 6 p.m. nightly.
Yes, 6:45 p.m.
Okay.
Right, 6:45 nightly, and we try to end at 8:30 latest, so persons can get to go and get their rest, you know, their daily activities, work, school, such and such.
All right.
And we have been doing very good with time.
Right, and your tagline says experience a difference,
yes,
experience transformation, experience healing, and experience a blessing. And all of this is coming from the scriptures, from the word of God.
Correct. Yes, and through prayers, we try to pray for persons, even though they're not under the tent. You know, God will really answer their prayers, you know, heal them. And it doesn't mean like sickness or illness, it could be a broken heart. You know, we are asking God for healing, you know, we are asking God to give persons, you know, a change, a transformation of life, a new leash. You know, these are the things we are praying for as well. Yeah.
That's right, that's right. You know, I want you to encourage our viewers this morning. Not only to, well, first and primarily to come out to these events, which even if it's just one night, and also to encourage them about an intentional transformation of their own lives. Right. Like trying to find time to spend in the presence of God, reading His Word, something of that nature, because I believe that now is the time for that. The times that we are in, it is very important. So I want you to take a couple of minutes and just encourage persons to come out to the event, and also to encourage them to live a life or to seek a life with a relationship with our Heavenly Father.
Yeah, thank you for that. You know, so I want to encourage you, I nearly said brethren, you know, folks of Tobago. And I could say, brethren, you know, because we are all one family here in Tobago, you know, to come out and see for yourself, you know, experience that transformation, experience that blessing. And, you know, we have so many problems, but the answers are there. They are right there in God's word, and more so obedience to His word. You know, and you can be surrounded by persons who have walked this way before and can encourage you. You know, one of the topics that we discussed was actually last night, Wednesday night. You know, birds of a feather flock together. So if you find yourself in company, you know, of persons that are pushing in that direction, indeed you will be strengthened, you will be encouraged, you will be supported. You know, come out. You know, this is the call of redemption. Bring a friend, you know, bring a family member and be a part of this. You know, a waiting, as we just say, you know, come and be a part of it. Yeah.
That's right, that's right. No better time than now than to, you know, to learn more about the things written in the Word of God, to learn more about it. It affects all of us. Whether we believe it or not, we can see the signs are there.
Correct.
So it is best to have the knowledge, you know, to err on the side of caution. You know, so it's best to have the information, have the knowledge, of course. And we want to wish you all the very best with this event. And, you know, I also want to take this time to invite people to come out, you know, to come out and just, even if it's one night, even if you're there for half an hour, you might be able to get something, because that's the way the Spirit works. You just have to be there, if even for 30 seconds, and it will penetrate your spirit, you know. So this is me here supporting this initiative, and this is me here encouraging persons to come out as a Christian as well, a practicing Christian as well, to encourage persons to come out and just to absorb what is being disseminated through these sessions nightly.
Amen.
All the very best. I wish you
Thank you.
the very best. And, even in your continued journey as a pastor, with other projects that will be coming up, with other initiatives, there might be more conferences like this. And, I wish you all the best. And I pray that as you speak to people, they will hear the voice of God. They wouldn't hear your voice. They would hear God's voice.
Amen.
And they will take the necessary actions to change their way of life and to come into a place where, because what we want to do is to live a peaceable life here on this earth. We want to enjoy our lives. We want to enjoy all the blessings that God has for us, all the things that He has left on this earth for us.
Right.
So all the best in all you're doing. And I'm looking forward to see how you grow and develop as you wouldn't forever be a young pastor, right? No. So as you grow, I would love to follow your journey to see, where you go with this. So all the very best and God bless you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Pastor Daniel Reed of the North District of the SDA, and we're talking about the Call of Redemption taking place there. It has begun on April 7th, and it is running all the way to April 20th, and you are invited to participate in any night of the sessions that are taking place there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have to take a short break before we continue conversations in studio. And before we go, of course, I don't know, Pastor, if you know our tagline, what we invite our viewers to do.
Share the life,
share the life, share the life, share the life. That's right. We'll be right back.
Life is good with Zero. Zero interest for 6 months. Zero down payments. Zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards My Terms, we are putting the power of zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for zero down. Pay zero interest later and enjoy a zero stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Of course, thanks so much for staying tuned with us. This is Tobago Updates Television. Friday,
into the sporting segment, and we are with a unique guest this morning. We're talking surfing. Yeah, surfing. Very young guy in studio here with us. He's doing big things, making waves, I should say, in Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago. He goes by the name Riano Lewis, right?
Yes.
Good morning to you, Mr. Lewis. And thank you so much for being with us. Are you shy? You shy?
A little bit.
You're a little bit shy? Now, let's think about you being on those big waves and riding the big waves. Let's study the cameras here, right? Think about the waves, right? So we're talking about you going where? To El Salvador to represent the country, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, I'm planning to go in May, and it's for the ISA World Junior Championship. And I went once already in 2022, and I've been training a lot since, so I hope this time I'll be doing better.
Right.
And representing the country even more.
Fantastic. So how did you place the last time around?
Well, I wasn't sure because back then I didn't train as hard as I did now.
Right.
So I didn't place as well as I wanted to.
Right.
But I was still able to go and fly the flag in a different country.
Right. How old are you, Riano?
16.
And what school are you?
Scarborough Secondary School.
All right. So tell me about your entry into surfing. Who got you involved? And what you like so much about surfing?
Well, I started like boogie boarding and skimboarding, and then one day we just went down to Mount Irving, and then they always have some instructors down there who give lessons, and my mom decided to make me do a lesson.
Yeah.
And at first I was kind of like a little scared, shy, but then after I started liking it, I got my first board, and then after I started surfing more and more and training harder, and then I decided that I wanted to do something with it, like represent my country and do something with the sport.
So in terms of surfing, we have the Olympics and World Games and all these different things. What's the highest you can reach in surfing, the surfing world?
Well, the Olympics is one of the high ones for sure, and then there's also like you could get on tour with like WSL, which would be like you'd be traveling the world and doing competitions all over. So, but I want to represent the country maybe in the Olympics one day. So I just have to work hard and try qualify.
And you are the only one in Tobago that's currently on the national team.
Well, yes.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. So like, how long have you been surfing?
About 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And how often do you train and where do you train?
Well, my main training grounds are Mount Irving. And whenever it has waves, I go there. But when there's no waves on the Caribbean side, we go to Bacalat, the Atlantic side, which has a lot of waves too. But it's very different. I mean, Mount Irving is a world-class wave. We have people from Barbados and other countries coming to surf it because it's a really nice right point break and it's a clean wave. And then Bacalet, we go there to train because it's a messy wave. It's all over the places, lefts, rights, and sometimes it can be pretty big and it's a shore break. So it's really good to practice in Bacalet to experience the different types of wave because a contest could be in any type of wave.
I like that. And how often do you train?
Well, I try to train every day. So sometimes after school, we go Bacalet if there's no waves in Mount Irving. And then at home, I do my little, I have a balance board. And then I use a skateboard, a carver, which helps, mimic the motion of surfing too.
Oh, right. So you put in physical work as well, you go to the gym, it's just natural for you?
Mostly at home.
Mostly at home?
Yeah, my own push-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah, so there isn't a fear from you at all in terms of where in Mount Irving we have is the reef right there, right?
Yeah.
Is there a fear for you? I'm sure that you've probably been bruised before. Have you been bruised before?
Yeah, a few times. It could be scary on big days because I mean lying down on the board and seeing a 10-foot wave coming around it could be scary. But when you for the first time you catch a big wave like that, when you drop in and get all that speed going down a wave, is the best feeling ever.
So that's what you like about the whole surfing thing, the adrenaline in it.
The adrenaline rush.
And in terms of is there a classification for surfing? What you lie on your stomach or you stand? How do you do the surfing?
Well, you lie on your stomach while you're paddling out to the wave, and then when you catch the wave, you stand up.
You stand up.
Yeah.
Oh, so in terms of
in terms of competition, there must be a period in which you have to stand
Yes.
when you start to ride.
So you catch the wave,
Right.
and then when you stand, the wave is all scored on the tricks you do. So you might do like a snap on the top of the
Right.
lip, or you might, some of the waves might barrel, and if you get barreled, you could get a high scoring wave. And then there's also airs, which are also a big part of surfing, which I'm learning right now.
So you're excited for your upcoming competition, because you said that the last time around you didn't get to practice as much. So you believe that you are well prepared this time around to bring home gold for Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, I'll try my best. I'm a lot more prepared than in 2022, because I've been training a lot more and practicing my maneuvers, so I'm more prepared than last time.
Yeah. And how are you managing schoolwork and training and participating in different competitions?
Well, after school, if there's waves, I'd go surf, and then after surfing, I'd do my homework if I have any. And then when I have contests during school times, like the one coming up now, when I'm there, I try to make some time to do some work online, and then I also have my private tutor to help me out while I'm like away. To help me balance the education with the surfing, because it's also very important. And then when I get back and go to school, I go to all my teachers personally and ask them for any work that I missed, and my classmates too. And then I try to do all my missed assignments and everything.
Yeah, fantastic. And outside of surfing, in terms of the education-wise, any special career you may want to get into?
Well, I'm thinking about pilot.
Pilot.
And there's also something...
You like the rush. You just like the adrenaline rush.
Yeah, there's also something called ROV pilot, which are it's like working with like oil and those things.
Right.
So it's those robots, like a kind of submarine that you'll be driving, but you're not in it, you're on the boat controlling it. And you may be like checking oil rigs to see if everything's good, nothing rusty, or maybe sometimes you look for oil. And then if a job like that would be good, because I'd be around the ocean all the time, whether I'm in other countries working too, so then I could also surf at the same time.
Yeah, you grew up liking the beach?
Yeah, I also did not only surfing, I did scuba diving too, and then there's snorkeling and boogie boarding and skimboarding, mostly things with the sea.
Yeah, do you have like brothers and sisters as well?
I have a sister, and her name is Anaya Lewis. I'm teaching her how to surf too, every now and then.
Yeah.
She's 7, so she's a little scared of the waves.
Right.
But she likes mostly backlit, because there's no reef, just sand.
Right.
So she could stand and then just she has a little foam board, so she could just push herself onto the white water with that. So it's not like a low wave, and then she learned to stand there.
I like that. And what's the most challenging thing for you when it comes to surfing?
Probably trying bigger maneuvers, and then when I'm not feeling a little down when I'm not landing them first try.
Yeah, I'm seeing. This is you here, right?
Yeah, that was yesterday.
This is in Moncton.
Yeah.
So when I used to go to beach, right? Because I grew up in Castara. We like the waves as well, but we didn't have these surfboards. We normally try to ride the waves.
Yeah,
right?
body.
And we'll whistle for the waves to come. You do that as well?
Well, not really. Not really whistle.
It's natural at Moncton and Bacalet.
Yeah.
It's natural. The waves they come naturally at Bacalet and Moncton. So who's the person that's responsible for your talent in terms of coaching?
Well, at the moment, I don't really have a coach. It's a bit hard to find a proper coach in Tobago.
Right.
But I do get help from a lot of people, just tips, other surfers would give me some little pointers of something I'm doing wrong, and then I'll try to correct it.
Ah, fantastic. Young wee Anna Lewis. So you're going out there in El Salvador. When are you leaving?
30th of April till the 12th of May.
Yeah, and I saw that you're also an ISA ambassador, right?
Yeah.
Right, so what does that entail?
Well, also in 2022, after the World Junior Championships, I had applied for the ISA scholarship, and I had won that in December. And then when you win that, they give you you become an ambassador for your country in the eyes of the ISA and all.
And what does ISA stands for?
ISA is International Surfing
Agency Association. I
Association.
Yes, yeah. Oh, okay, so you're an ambassador for Trinidad and Tobago. So you are here to what? To recruit more people to get involved in surfing?
Well, yeah, trying to like get other Tobagonians and Trinbagonians to start surfing.
Yeah, we have it naturally here. So where can they find you in terms of are you on TikTok? I know young people like
Well,
TikTok.
I have Instagram.
You have Instagram. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, they can go to your Instagram account.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram?
Riano_Louis.
So Riano is
RIANO _LOUIS.
LOUIS. Fantastic. Scarborough Secondary. That's my alma mater as well. I went to Scarborough Secondary. So Rihanna, I want to wish you all the best in your upcoming event in El Salvador. Continue doing what you're doing. Surfing is one of those sports that not popular as football and cricket. But I always say if it is that we use what we have in Trinidad and Tobago, the natural stuff that we have, like the beach. In terms of rowing and dragon boat and all these different things, surfing as well, we can medal. And I can surely see you medaling because I see that you have a passion for it and you like it as well, and you have the support of your parents.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You want to big up your parents as well?
Yeah, my parents, my mother, my father helped me a lot and encouraged me because there are some days like when I'd be tired and really feel to go, but they still encourage me to go, and then I go out and I still have like some really good waves. So they're a big part of it.
Yeah, fantastic. Rihanna, thank you so much for joining us here today, and we will be following up on your career as a surfer. I remember the name Rihanna Lewis. I'll follow you as well on Instagram. Yes? Right, so guys, we've been chatting there with Rihanna Lewis, young surfer out of Tobago. He's going to be representing the country in El Salvador, and later this month, big competition. And we're going to ensure that we give him this love and support that he can come back with the medals. So guys, this brings an end to the sporting segment here on Friday. I want to encourage you guys to enjoy yourself, but remain safe. Thank you so much. We're going to show you over to Candice Jackson with Good Morning Tobago. But don't forget to share the live, share the live, share the live.
This is my first race for the day. I've been around the goat racing since little, so I grew up with an idea. This could be my second to third year of running goat. I felt very good when I come down and I see her in front. Felt very nice.
So long as you get a good racer and you like the thing, you're going to put everything into it. And I call it jockey and say, look, we're going to dominate today. We're going to dominate. You win Friday with Latin Lover. I need you to put down your best foot forward. And so done, you do the work.
I came here with my family and they thought it was a good idea that I come to participate in the event. I train with UE at the St. Augustine campus here. This is my first time here, so it's pretty fun. And while winning my event was the icing on the cakes.
We're spending Easter in Tobago, so we said this is something that they should see. Yeah, I think it is a wonderful thing to do for Tobago, and I like the community spirit and the environment and of course the entrepreneurs down there with the food and the craft, and so I think it's excellent.
Today we have burgers, we have hot dogs, we have chicken and chips. Sales has been going pretty okay thus far. Yeah, it's a nice experience. As you see out here today, we have a lot of niche type businesses, a lot of small or micro businesses on the outside, so a lot of persons get the opportunity to display what they have.
It's been amazing. Watching the goats is wonderful, but also the bonnet competition is quite something.
Yeah, really good fun, really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been crazy. We haven't seen anything like this at home.
It's really great. The races are fun to watch. All the vendors have good food and attractions. Yeah, I like it because we get to see animals that we usually don't get to see normally in the in Canada or like Tobago. My snake is my favorite animal. I don't know. I just have always really liked snakes. We have little garter snakes in our backyard that I always catch and always used to catch.
This is an event that normally caters to the family. And once we are able to bring families together, once we are able to execute a better social standing in our community, I think we are a success, you know. Sometimes we measure everything by financial success, but there's always the reality of having stronger communities coming out of events like this.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region, with the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine. I am Candice Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. The MV Emprendedora has begun operation as a cargo vessel between Trinidad and Tobago, while the MV Cabo Star undergoes dry docking from April 6th to the 25th. It will handle various cargoes, including construction materials and containers, departing from Port of Spain at 2 p.m. and Tobago around 4 a.m. All transactions for truckers and shippers must be done through the FRX system, similar to the process used for the MV Cabo Star. Meanwhile, the galleon's passage will also transport vans and trucks starting April 15th. Passenger ferries will continue their regular services, prioritizing food and pharmaceutical transport. Up next, the Tobago police are facing challenges from motorists who use technology to warn others about police roadblocks, undermining efforts to combat serious crimes. At a town hall meeting, Senior Superintendent Rodel Kirk expressed frustration over this practice, showcasing voice notes circulated on social media that alert drivers to police activities. He urged the public to redirect their use of technology to assist law enforcement by reporting criminal activities instead, proposing the creation of a group named Spotlight on Criminals to facilitate this cooperative effort. And finally, former Chief Justice and President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Michael de la Bastide, was commemorating as a larger-than-life figure during his funeral by the current Chief Justice, Ivor Archie. Described as a visionary leader and brilliant jurist who was also fun-loving and humane, de la Bastide passed away on March 30th at the age of 86. Archie highlighted de la Bastide's disdain for laziness and deception, his relentless pursuit of excellence, and his deep commitment to his family and the Caribbean region. The ceremony was attended by notable figures including Acting Prime Minister Com Imbert and Chief Secretary Fally Augustine. And that was the news in 90 seconds.
News in 90 seconds is brought to you by Standards, never beaten on quality and prices. Life is good with Zero. Zero interest for 6 months, zero down payments, zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards, My Terms, we are putting the power of zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for zero down. Pay zero interest later and enjoy a zero stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
And welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, viewers. Now, we've been treated with some very disturbing news within our national space, especially when it comes to children, with some incidents that, do not seem right and seems all round wrong, just wrong. And just to give us a perspective on some of the things that we need to do in terms of how do we defend and how do we support children's rights, because of course that conversation is coming up in light of a lot of these events, incidents I should say, that we are seeing in our national space. I am going to be joined online this morning by Ms. Leslie Ann Tyson, and she is a psychologist, as well as Kelly Joseph and the lead team at the Child Justice Unit, as we discuss defend and support child rights. So good morning and welcome to you both. How are you guys?
Good
Hi, good morning.
I'm doing well.
All right, great. Now, first of all, as we're hearing these disturbing news coming out of Trinidad and so on about children, and just especially that one incident where a 4-year-old lost her life in such a gruesome manner. How should even we as citizens, how should we react to something like this?
Firstly, it really is heartbreaking. And one of the key things that happen to us when we hear about this news is that we're shocked. We try to rationalize or reason something that really is unreasonable. And different persons may have different responses to it. What we can do, though, is really try to help each other, each one help the other one. If you notice signs of abuse, so for example, in terms of physical abuse, you're noticing a child or an adolescent always has a particular bruise. From time to time, they're always having unexplained injuries. Also, in terms of maltreatment or the neglect, you may notice that the child isn't coming to school as often, or they appear very listless or underweight or malnourished. When you pick up on those signs, it's really important to report the same to the authority or to the Child Protection Unit.
Mr. Joseph, there's a lot of child rights that are out there, and a lot of people don't understand that children have rights as well. And what are some of those rights that we as a public should be aware of in terms of, just knowing how, as adults, we should be able to step in? Okay, I guess Mr. Joseph is not hearing us right now. Is Mr. Joseph?
Hi, morning. No, this is Javed Abdul. I'm from the Interventions and Investigations Unit in Trinidad. I'm just filling in for Ms. Joseph. All right, so morning again to Tobago. I know, based on the question that you asked, that there are about 63 or so basic rights of a child that the United Nations has laid out. Some of them include a right to an education, a right to adequate shelter, a right for adequate food, a right for proper medical assistance when needed, among several other things. Some of the basic rights that a child will also have is a right not to be abused, whether it be physically, sexually, or psychologically. All right, and it's also important to know that children are among the vulnerable in society. That's why we pay a little extra attention to keeping the children safe. Some of them are not always able, they are not at the developmental level where they could vocalize exactly what's happening, what's taking place. So that's why it's very important for an agency like Children's Authority to be present in the society so that reports can be made to us and our specially trained staff can go out there, investigate these complaints or reports and provide some sort of intervention so that it doesn't continue to go down a negative road and it doesn't have to reach to some of these situations that we are seeing today.
Where would you, I don't know if you can take this question, but where would you rate in terms of how we are on the spectrum in terms of like being able to adhere to children's rights and so on, and even with the Sustainable Development Goals, how far are we along in those things when it comes to children?
You want to go ahead, Ms. Tyson?
Sure. I think that we have made some strides. Now, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and this has been observed in North America since 1983. And within our scope in the Caribbean, in particular in Trinidad and particularly in Tobago, we have seen some change in terms of the culture as it relates to how children are being treated by their parents or their caregivers. But we do have a long way to go. We do receive a number of reports of parents or caregivers needing and wanting assistance in terms of getting support with parenting, and also getting support with improving the health of the family as well, which is quite good. But I think that on a community level, we do need to strengthen that sense of community. In the past, we had, the sense of the GAIAP system where one person helps the other, and also we also used to be able to talk to somebody and say, okay, I don't think this is the right thing to do. And that person usually, would be able to receive that. And I think that we need to get back there. And I believe with all of us working together, we can get to that point. It just would really be interventions on different levels.
And tell me about those interventions that are needed. Elaborate more on that point.
So in terms of the intervention, sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. But some of the interventions that could come out of an investigation that is done by Children's Authority could include support systems specific to the child, whether it be a referral to the child guidance clinic, to a medical institution for psychological intervention such as counseling or therapy, or some specific need that needs to be addressed by the child, whether it be some type of special needs requirement, special needs diet. It could be anything from A to Z. And there are also interventions that are geared towards the caregivers of the children, whether it be some type of psychoeducation to dealing with specific issues that the child has, training or support via social services, the social development, Ministry of Family Services, where they could provide some sort of financial assistance to the family. Sometimes it might even be assisting the caregivers with getting employment, any sort of support that the family needs that they are lacking in, that will assist them in caring for any child is an intervention that the children will make. There are also several interventions that Children's Authority roll out, not only for the family, but for the community, for the school. So we would intervene on all levels to ensure that support is there. So again, so that it does not have to reach a situation that we see in some of these circumstances now.
And Ms. Tyson, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I would love to support that also. Having safety plans with the families that we work with is really, really important. Um, because sometimes life is so hectic now that a lot of parents are under a lot of stress and caregivers as well. So sitting down with them and actually going through what life is like now and what are the things that they can do, because they also have the solutions as well, to improve their quality of life. That is also a big part of it, and in also increasing their social support network, because people do need a lot more support, and also encourage them to speak up, because abuse tends to thrive in secrecy. So we really do work with persons across the society in different domains, as Mr. Abdul noted.
So, Ms. Tyson, especially you as a psychologist, what are some of the things that you are picking up on in the field when, let's say, we have these cases being brought to your attention? Can you just give us some insight as to even, what's even going on in the minds of either the children or even the parents that are attached to these children in these situations?
Okay, so as a field traumatologist, what I can say is that persons are experiencing a lot of distress when it comes to meeting the demands of work, also meeting the demands of providing for their families. Children also really are going through a lot of stress as it relates to managing with school and coping. Um, what we can do, though, what parents can do as well, is reduce the risk of the children's exposure to persons who may cause harm. So a lot of parent education is something that we tend to go through within treatment sessions. Also, persons really are struggling with using the healthy coping skills in order to deal with the particular stressors and recover from trauma that they would have gone through. So a lot of the work that we do is really helping persons within a safe space um, look back on some of the things that they have gone through, create a healthy coping plan and safety plan for their life right now, and also work towards that recovery and healing.
And then even just breaking that down just a little bit further in terms of just being able to get people to turn to those mechanisms that are healthier, even when they are going through all these different stresses and so on. What are some of those challenges and what are some of those blockers that are being faced by people?
So in terms of the particular ones, when we're thinking about the particular stresses that they're going through, it relates to not having that a safe person to speak to at times, and also not being able to access resources that they may need in order to just improve their quality of life.
Do you think that we as a society, because we've been hearing about the need to change the way we do things, we're hearing about the need to even find healthier coping mechanisms to deal with the stress of life and so on. Do you think that we are really paying attention to this so that, the impact on our children is less disastrous?
The authority has really been, I think there's a lot that we can continue to do, but we really do try to go into these schools. We also have been working, with the Spotlight Initiative to have the media also share the child abuse prevention strategies. And we do see some persons noting that they call and they would say, I need to get this help. And even reaching to that point, it takes a lot to create that, to get to that point of wanting to change their situation. It really takes a lot for a person to leave their home and now, if it's an abuse situation, for example, and now take on this new normal or this new life. So I think we have to just continue reinforcing the resources that are that are there and sharing the information within our communities, and also really being there for persons for the long haul as well, in terms of their course of recovery. Really have to continue to be there for them.
Now, a lot of times, when we talk about domestic situations and stuff, domestic violence situations and so on, and when your partner is being abusive, and of course, which also affects your children and also results in abuse of the children in some form or the other, one of the things that comes out is that even though the victim might be wanting to leave, it's not always easy to leave because there are financial things that need to be considered. Where are they going to live? Where are they going to run to? How are they going to support themselves and so on? Is there systems in place? Are we working on establishing systems in place so that when someone comes to you and says they want to leave this abusive relationship, so that you help them leave, but also you help them in a way that they can sustain themselves or they can be okay on their own financially, so that they don't feel like they have to stay in those situations? And I don't know if you can take this question.
Yeah, so in terms of the
system.
systems that... Go ahead.
It's okay, you could go ahead.
Yeah, so in terms of the systems that we do have in place, of course, we have the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and that number is 800-7283. We do also have the TTPS as well that persons can call in order to access those types of services if they need to leave their particular environment. And the authority as well, of course, we provide a safe haven for children also. And in terms of the other interventions that may be required within our context, of course, here in Tobago, we have the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection that provide an array of services. And we also have in Trinidad as well, the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services.
All right. Well, we're going to go for a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. So viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll continue this discussion on defending and supporting child rights when we come back.
Hey. Tobago updates.
Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Storby Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are this morning discussing about defending and supporting child rights, and we are discussing this with psychologist Ms. Leslie Ann Tyson and Mr. Javin Abdul. Now, of course, before we went to the break, we were talking a little bit about just the psychology involved, just some of the challenges that are being faced by people within our society and so on. Now, I just want to spend some time also talking about children. You know, what are tell me about some of the most prevalent abuse that we see happening within our space.
Based on the most recent statistics that Children's Authority would have gathered, it is determined that the most prevalent type of abuse that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago is sexual abuse. All right, and a lot of it, as Ms. Tyson would have alluded to, is allowed to continue because of this level of secrecy and the notion of not telling anyone, not reporting it, and that is one of the most difficult ones I know for a lot of the children or even adults to come out and report because of a stigma that might be attached to it. But it's important for the public to know that when you make reports to social services agencies or the police, you can say that the reporter would like to remain anonymous and just provide the information so that investigators like myself can go out there and see for ourselves what is taking place. Now, there are other types of abuse that happens, such as physical abuse, which is easier to pick up on and determine because usually in physical abuse, there are physical marks, blue-black spots, dislocated joints, the child isn't walking properly, there's a swollen head, the eyes are blue-black, there's some sort of indication that can visibly be seen so that it's more easy for someone like a teacher or a pastor or a neighbor to report on things like that. Now, there are even other types of abuse that happens, such as emotional and psychological abuse that's very difficult to pick up on and report. However, somebody who is exposed to a child specifically for any length of period, such as a teacher, a Sunday school teacher, a pastor, or somebody who sees a neighbor who sees a child regularly, they will notice a change in this child's demeanor. The child is not interested in the things that they used to be interested in. The child has suddenly just become beyond control without anything notable reason behind it. And these are some of the major emotional and psychological cues that someone who is close to a child can look out for and make reports on. And it's something, all types of abuse, regardless of popularity or severity, is taken with the same threshold, and we will investigate and roll out interventions in the same manner for any type of abuse to a child.
Mm-hmm. And then how prevalent is it? Give us an idea of some of the reports or the statistics in regarding the reports.
Ms. Tyson, I'm not sure if you had sight of the most recent statistics, but it doesn't come to mind the exact numbers. But I know that sexual abuse is significantly higher than the other types of abuse for Trinidad.
Okay. And then in terms of just the impact of that abuse as well, you know, psychologically, how does this affect a child growing up into an adult? Tell me about that a bit more.
Just to add and answer that question as well, one of the things we see also is withholding of food. A lot of the times that is something that comes up, and also in particular with the physical abuse, you're seeing use of, you know, like belts or cords, etc. You're still seeing that kind of impact on our children. The psychological as well, you know, calling children derogatory names or referring to them in a negative way, that also has a very lasting impact on the child's self-esteem, how they see themselves, and also their sense of self-worth. Right? And it affects their functioning overall. So let's think about what a child does. They engage in play, So sometimes their play may be a bit more aggressive than other children. It also, if the child has experienced some kind of sexual trauma, you may see hypersexuality or sexualized play in the play therapy room or within the space that the child is living in. Another impact is, of course, on grades. Now, this could go either way. The key thing about abuse is that the person is using power and control over the next person. And so sometimes what children may do is that they put a lot of effort into their schoolwork because that is something they can control and they do really well and they're quite resilient. Or you may see a decline in their grades and other functioning if they're involved in sports or netball or something like that. So it really depends on the child and their stage of development. So, if you're thinking about much younger children, you might see consistent bedwetting. If there's a particular issue as it relates to sexual trauma or another type of abuse, because the distress affects the nervous system and that of course affects the rest of the body. And so our bodies really do respond to all of the stimuli that we experience. And when we really feel as though there's no way out, we go into this survival mode. And children really, then you see an increase in aggression. And I think we're seeing a lot of that in schools as well. So trauma really is something that we have to continue working to alleviate from our societies.
What's a correlation between the deviant behavior that we see in society today and perhaps abuse of that same person when they were a child?
So in terms of that generational trauma, we do see a lot of that when you work with the adults or the caregivers or the family members and you speak to the history, you do see a pattern and sometimes the persons may not realize that. So that in itself can be a motivating factor to end that cycle of abuse within the particular unit. And also for that person to also have access to that psychological, psychosocial interventions to help them recover from their particular childhood trauma.
All right, great. Well, I want to thank you so much, Ms. Tyson and Mr. Abdul, for being on with us this morning. We're almost out of time. But before we go, I just want to give you guys a chance to let the public know just ways in which they can make the reports, ways in which they can even get in contact and point out incidents where they are seeing child abuse or neglect of children so that we can help protect and step in at the earliest point possible.
Surely, given the Child Abuse Prevention Month, it's very important for the public to understand that a lot of these instances and a lot of these gruesome acts that we are seeing committed against children can be prevented if they are reported in a timely manner. Reports can be made to Children's Authority via hotline 24 hours 996 800 2014. Reports can also be made to Children's Authority via walk-ins. We have an office in Port of Spain, Chaguanas, Eugene St. Madeleine, and there's an office in Tobago. There's also an assessment center in Sangre Grande. Even if persons are not comfortable calling or coming in, you can send an email to registry at ttchildren.org. And also a friendly reminder is that if the reporter wants to remain anonymous, they can say so, and their details will never be recorded. Okay, just the information for us to act on. And in any major instance, a report can also be made to the TTPS, to any police station, especially the Child Protection Unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. But any station will take the report and forward it to the necessary persons.
All right, great. Thank you so much for being on and for sharing all that information with us this morning. And viewers, please don't go anywhere. We've got more coming up for you after the break.
A brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor.
Life is good with Zero. Zero interest for 6 months, zero down payments, zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards My Terms, we are putting the power of zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for zero down. Pay zero interest later and enjoy a zero stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Good morning, Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, now we are switching our conversation to Medical Lab Professionals Week because it is Medical Labs Professional Week. And to tell us more about that, we are being joined by Miss Samantha Alexis, and she's the acting manager of the laboratory services, as well as Miss Charmin Lewis, who is a registered midwife, and is assigned to the blood donor room at the Scarborough General Hospital. So good morning and welcome to you both.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Great. So let's get started with just the explaining what is Medical Lab Professionals Week, why are we celebrating it, or why are we observing it?
Okay, so Medical Laboratory Professionals Week, it actually originated in 1975, and it was the National Medical Laboratory Week by America. And throughout the years, there's been many campaign supporters, and it's now actually celebrated internationally. And this year is the 49th installation of this. So it's a time that we could actually bring recognition to the profession, as we are often hidden. Most persons aren't aware of the lab and what we do. So it's a time to bring recognition to these professionals.
So on that point, then tell us, what do you do? What is so special about the team that you guys are?
So as laboratorians, we play a major role in the healthcare. We assist physicians to diagnose diseases, treat diseases, and even prevent diseases. And we do this by giving out accurate and reliable test results so that the decisions that the physicians make is actually evidence-based.
And Mr. Lewis, just give us an idea of just being able to work there, being able to be part of all of these services, and being able to give the answers that the doctors and technicians need to be able to administer care to the patients.
Well, we are arm of the lab, we really do donations. We bleed people to get blood, to get blood, so that patients could get blood that save lives.
So, yes. Great. And so just give us an idea also of, when when does this week take place? Is it every year?
It's every year. It's celebrated in the month of April. And this year it's celebrated April 14th to 20th.
And then what are some of the activities that are in place?
Oh, well, we have an action-packed week. Starting from Monday, we are having an opening ceremony at the Scarborough General Hospital, and it's followed throughout with various activities. So we have, for example, lunchtime lecture series, which is delivered by various doctors in different specialty areas, and laboratory demonstrations that we will have live. So patients and members of the public have an opportunity to come in and see actually what do we do. We also have some social activities planned. We have games night, we have karaoke session. Even Sunday, next week Sunday, that is on Pigeon Point Beach, we have a sports and family day. So we are inviting persons of the public, other health professionals to come along and join in our celebration.
All right, so tell me a little bit about even the specialities of the lab and so on, and lab technicians. Tell me about exactly what you do, and just even some of those tests that you say that we're going to be able to witness as a public.
Okay, so at the laboratory have various specialties such as microbiology, which is the study of microbes, these tiny organisms we can't see with our naked eye, so we have to use, for example, a microscope. We have areas such as hematology, immunohematology. So in the live demonstrations, persons will have an opportunity to see how we actually can see a blood group. And this is important when we are doing transfusion services, and this is where blood bank nurses also come into play, where they collect that blood for donation and transfusion purposes. So during this week, we are also encouraging persons, come on over to the hospital and donate blood as well.
Certainly. And I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about the blood donation part in just a bit. But I just want to focus even just on the fact that we actually have a very active, very diverse set of technicians there at the lab services. Tell me about even just some of the members of your team that does this hard work every day.
Okay, so we have different categories of staff, such as lab tech assistants. So what they would do is help to prepare the samples for the lab technologists who work in different areas. So let's talk about microbiology, for example. These persons are going to come in. Let's say there's a urine sample. So you're getting some pain in the back, pain while urinating. You'd want to know, well, why is this? So doctors might think perhaps it's a urinary tract infection. So these persons in the microbiology department is going to take that urine and they're going to work it up by means of what we call a culture and sensitivity to determine the microorganisms that is causing the infection, and then be able to tell the physician, these are the antibiotics we can use to treat that particular infection.
And then, how does young people, how do young people consider a career in lab technicians and so on?
Okay, so if you have a passion for science, you love solving puzzles, it's a good field. So how you get into it at CXC level, you have the biology, chemistry, these science subjects, and then we move on to an associate degree. So the associate degree is entry level, and from there we can go on to specializations by means of even master's degrees, PhD, and specialization in different areas such as hematology, which is the study of blood, cytology, histology. So it's an area that it has a broad scope.
And is it that, as you say, even after you come out from high school and, after you get your associates, you can even start to work, and then as you work, you continue to increase your qualifications?
Absolutely, yes.
All right. And then, so tell me a little bit about just the blood donor clinic at the Scarborough General Hospital, Miss Lewis. I know that's your field.
Yes. Well, I'm one of the nurses attached to that department. We are the ones collecting the blood, talking to the clients as they come in to donate blood. So we ensure that they do so safely and comfortably. right? Donation is very important in the life of hospital and in the public life because once persons are diagnosed with certain diseases such as cancer and even diabetes and high blood pressure, they develop problems sometimes when these things are not controlled. And so they may need blood. So we at the blood bank, we are there to assist in that area, asking healthy persons or to come and to donate blood.
What are some of those myths that people have when it comes to donated blood?
Well, yes, they have a lot of myths. One of them, a popular one here in Tobago, is that if you have a tattoo, you're unable to donate, but that is not true. The tattoo must be over 3 months old, right? And once that is, the 3 months have passed into the tattoo, you are able to donate, right? Another myth is that you're draining out the person's blood, you know? But you're not doing that. Blood, after 3 months, you get back new blood cells, and your blood count goes back up intermittently. The 2 days after, from drinking lots of fluid, your blood volume goes back up to normal, and then the cells regenerate themselves, right? So you feel more energetic and stronger.
Well, I was just about to ask, it's like, because I know that there are studies to say that it is beneficial for you to occasionally give your blood, donate your blood.
Yeah, because it protects you from like disease like heart failure and stuff like that, you know? And it's an easy way to get a quick health check, you know? So there are benefits, lots of benefits to donation. And as the client comes in, we educate them as they come to donate. And then a lot of them say, well, I didn't know this thing was so easy, you know, because it is. A lot of folks fear the needle, right? But the needle is a part of the process in order to get the blood, because there's no other way to get the blood, right? So the needle has to be used to get the blood, right? So we alleviate the fears of the client when they come in, and we ensure that they are comfortable. We do an interview, right? Asking certain questions to ensure that that person is safe and able to give. We want to protect the donor, and we want to ensure that we get the safest possible blood.
Now, is there anything in place for this special week? Like, is there the blood donation that's happening this week? Is there anything special for those who come forward?
In terms of what?
Just anything, you know. It's there like a little treat. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we are trying to get tokens to give out to the clients as they come to donate, and along with education. So that's what we plan to do.
How often does having that blood on standby been instrumental in saving lives at the hospital?
All the time.
Every day.
Every day, yes. And this year we have noticed a lot of persons needing blood. A lot of persons needing blood. And not just ill persons who would have gotten into accidents, you know, and stuff like that. So blood donation is very important, very, very important. And we really want to encourage the public to come and donate, right? When you come, we are there to educate, as I said before, and to encourage you in the process.
And then, of course, you know, when you get the blood, it isn't just given to the patient just so they. That's why you have the lab.
Yes.
And then tell me about that process there at the lab, or what happens when the blood is collected.
Okay. So when when blood is collected, we actually have to have it screened, and that screening process is to ensure that it doesn't have transferable infections. So that is done actually in Trinidad. There's a national hub for NBTS, that is called. And then at the laboratory, what doctors will do is take blood from the patients who would like to receive blood, and we will have to cross-match. Cross-matching is a process whereby we have to determine the compatibility to say, okay, this person's blood and the donor and the recipient blood is not going to have an adverse reaction. So that's basically the process there.
All right. Well, we got to go for a quick break, and we'll be right back just after this. So don't go anywhere.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starter.
No place like home, home, home.
Oh, I love Tobago, baby.
When we outside, it's an ocean of love. All that we align to the stars up above. Let we dance now, take a chance now with me. And we go jump till morning. Look, the moon gone sleeping. Tell them we not leaving. Till the last drop of bacchanal is madness in the capital. So I feel like I run in town again. Jump and shake the ground again. We with all my friends and them. No place like home. 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 We go jump till the moon come down. It's we who the stars shine on. Play a mass and break away. Freedom in we DNA.
On Tobago Updates, viewers, we are discussing Medical Lab Professionals Week, and that's coming up next week. It's coming up next week. And so, of course, we are speaking this morning with Ms. Samantha Alexis, and she's the acting manager of the laboratory services, as well as Ms. Charmaine Lewis, and she's a registered nurse and midwife assigned to the blood donor room at the Scarborough General Hospital. Now, of course, that blood donation drive is something that's going to be a very important part of Medical Lab Professionals Week, because, of course, we need blood within our services, and we discussed that a little bit before we went to the break. But what's the process for those, like I said, because it involves needles, and you know, we have a fear of needles.
Yes.
I included. But what is the process?
Right, the process is simple. It takes about 45 minutes for the whole process to be completed. The client comes in, we introduce ourselves, of course, and we take them into a private room. We do vitals, which is the blood pressure, the height, and the weight. And we do the blood count, which for males must be 13.5 grams per deciliter, and females 12.5. Once we ascertain that everything is okay with you, health-wise, we go ahead and write up a bag, which the blood is bleed into, and we take the person into the next room where we actually do the bleeding process. Right? There are specifics for that blood donation, that your pressure must be a certain level and stuff like that. Right? So we put the person on the chair, make sure that they are comfortable, and then we clean the area before we do the venipuncture. The venipuncture is getting into the vein. Once we find a good pliable vein, we insert the needle and we let the procedure take place. The person has to squeeze a ball as they go along every 10 seconds and until the process is finished. Now we collect in the bag 450 milliliters of blood. The bag contains 50 mils of anticoagulant, which as the blood is drained, it mixes so that we don't get any clots. Right? So after that is finished, we offer a drink. Right? Sometimes if the person wishes, we may offer a next one, and we encourage them to hydrate for the next 2 days and lessen their physical activities. Right? So.
And then when it comes to, finding that vein, because again, that's also another challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Now, tell me about just the difference when it comes to blood donor nurses doing this as opposed to regular doctors.
Well, we have to find a vein big enough to insert the needle for the blood to come at a certain rate. Right? So we usually go at the point of the just over the elbow there, and we do that process.
And of course, you guys are able to find it sometimes a lot easier.
Yeah, we apply the blood pressure cuff, and we increase the pressure up to a certain level, and we proceed with palpating the vein. Once we get a good vein, we start our procedure. Right? Yes.
All right. And of course,
I wanted to add one thing. Persons who are coming to donate, before they come, they think that they want to, they must hydrate well. Right? They must have a lot of fluids, water and stuff before, the day before, and then the day that they are coming. Okay?
And then where are you exactly in the hospital are you located?
Well, we are right behind the dispensary area where the lab is. As you enter that door, we have 2 rooms there, and then you just say what you come for, and we are there most of the time, or the lab staff would inform us that we have clients. Right?
And what time is the lab opened?
For blood donation, we are there from 7:30 in the morning till 4:30 at evening, where we take our last donor at 4. Right? So we work till 5, but we take our last donor at 4.
So, and then tell me a little bit again about just some of the activities that we have planned for Medical Lab Professionals Week. And of course, because we want people to be involved, and I'm very much interested in some of those lectures and the demonstrations and so on.
Okay, so Monday is the opening ceremony where we officially recognize the start of Medical Laboratory Professionals Week. And then Tuesday, we start with a lecture series actually in the outpatient clinic setting to really give patients and members of the public an idea and understanding on the importance of blood donation, understanding their blood groups and the importance that it plays actually in saving other people's lives. And on Wednesday and Thursday, this is the lunchtime lecture series, we have presentations by our pathologist, Professor Daisley, who is going to have a discussion on the impact of COVID and what they are seeing in the postmortem in terms of test results and whatnot. And also we are having a presentation on palliative care and the correlation between blood test results that you'll see along that time. So these are some of the activities that we will be having.
And what time are those lectures?
12:30 to 2 p.m.
And so anybody could come to that?
Yes. Yes, members of the public are invited, patients, other healthcare professionals, they are free to come along. And the laboratory demonstrations that we would be having 1 p.m. is in the general courtyard area. And persons could come along, they get an idea of how we do pap smears, how we do and process histology samples, how we process samples in our biochemistry department, such as glucose tests. You know, a lot of patients will come to the hospital and we tell them, well, you know, you need to fast before you do a fasting blood glucose test. And they may be a bit irate. Why is it that I have to stop eating from 7 p.m. the night before? But now you have the opportunity to understand the importance of fasting and properly fasting and preparing yourself for each of these blood tests and understanding the impacts that would happen if you don't follow the instructions. So that's the basis of our live demonstrations. And then we have a little free up session, you know, all work, no play makes us dull. So we must have a little stress-free session where we'll be having games nights. And as you come to donate blood, you are free to join us in our games. So we say games night, but it's really 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. As you know, as Miss Charmaine would have just said, the last donor is taken at 4 p.m. So you could come at that time, join us in playing some fun games, join us in our karaoke session, and on Sunday, come and meet us on the beach, and we just have a fun, relaxing time.
And I know, I mean, how much are you looking forward to just being able to share this information with the public?
This is a very lovely day, I must say, because it allows us to connect with the patients. We are oftentimes viewed as robots. People might just think all we do is press a button and you get a test result. Or some persons may not even think about it. But being able to form that connection and understand that we are all humans and we are professionals and we have put in years of study to understand, yes, when we give out a test result, it's the true result. You know, you don't have to second guess it. So it enables the members of the public to have more confidence in us, have more trust in us, not just the members of the public, but other healthcare professionals. And it helps to bring forth a sense of unity. And therefore, we can approach the healthcare setting in more of a team setting, a team mindset. We appreciate everyone, we respect everyone, and we work harmoniously together.
All right, great. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on with us and for sharing that. And we are certainly looking forward to next week, seeing you in action and seeing you for those live demonstrations and so on. And of course, viewers, please come forward and donate blood. I mean, we actually do have a shortage of blood here in Tobago. So we need to make sure that our blood bank is at a certain level. So come out, it's good for you. I mean, if you don't know your blood type, they'll take care of that as well. So, and it's a good way to find out what your blood type is. So come and donate blood next week. All right, so thank you again for being on with us. And viewers, I hope you have a safe and wonderful weekend. And we will see you again tomorrow. I mean, on Monday. Bye for now.
I say, thanks for favor. So wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong. And the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated one.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.